Okay, hello and welcome to another tier list. Today I will be taking a look at Mario Kart Wii tracks instead of the characters because the tracks are a lot more subjective. I feel like with characters, because each of them have their own stats, it's likely that you're going to be similar to another person, whereas tracks completely different. Some people will really like some of these tracks. I'm going to hate some of them, and my opinions changed on quite a few of them, especially from when I was a kid. Like the first track, Bowser Castle 3 for the Game Boy Advance, was probably one of my least favorites, but now I absolutely adore this track. It's challenging, but has the right amount of just skill involved that you can breeze through this track without any issues. One of my big issues as a kid was that I would always fall off, get crushed by the thwomps, that kind of thing. But now I can easily do all laps without you know anything happening. I can do everything that I need to do. I can do drifts properly and all this stuff that makes the track more fun because you can utilize some of the different ways that you can go and you can optimize your routes. So obviously, it's no fun to being slow, is it? So if you can go fast, you prefer going fast. So it's a really good Bowser Castle level. I think what stops it from being an S tier is, well, firstly my thing as a kid is I really didn't like it, so I got to take that into account somewhat. But also, um, playing against AI, it got a bit boring after the first lap because usually I was too far ahead of them for them to actually do anything. So that doesn't make it very fun. And obviously, online on the Wii, I didn't really get into, unfortunately. So I didn't get. I think I got one race on like a Luigi Circuit playing as Dry Bowser because I wanted to show off I had Dry Bowser, and that was I think the only game of Mario Kart Online I played, or Mario Kart Wii Online, whatever. Um, as for the next Bowser Castle, it's the one for the Wii. So that one, oh, S tier? No, 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 sorry, that's the wrong tier for that one. B. It's a solid Bowser's Castle. I do like the so obviously as you go into Bowser's mouth through a jump. That's quite nice. You got the twisty floors that are kind of interesting. Obviously you've got these sharp 90-degree turns. Take you through the rest of the track, and then you're in the half pipe with Bowser shooting fireballs at you, which originally as a kid were really annoying to dodge, but now I realize it's extremely easy. Just go like left and then right up the ramps and you'll be fine typically, or go left and left or whatever. I typically go like across because I think it works out better. Then you can choose to go up or down. I think I always go the upwards route. You always end up in the same place anyway, but yeah. And then it's like a 90-degree turn, a few hole or potholes. I think shoot fire, and then it's the end of the track. Um, my issues with this track is that I don't particularly like the floors. They're interesting, but doesn't mean I like them. They're just a bit annoying. They mess with my head. Um, but it can be fun. The fireball gimmick in the big chamber, it kind of when you get used to it, it's kind of like completely mundane, and so you kind of loses all its value. And I've run into quite a few glitches on this map that have just kind of made it unfun to play. So I typically avoid it if I can. But I mean, if it's not glitchy, I'm more than happy to play it. It's a solid beta. It's a good map. It's above average, but it's still not like top tier for me. And then the final Bowser's Castle, I do believe it's the N64 one, and it's my favorite one. That's why I put this one in S tier to begin with, because I was not paying attention. This one's my favorite track in the game. I'm not 100% sure why. It's not that crazy. Um, you go like across the bridge. You've got thwomps doing thwomp things in one room that are always in like a set sort of areas, and then in the next room they kind of follow where you go, which can be really annoying. It's quite fun to dodge, especially if someone behind you gets crushed. And then you go down some stairs, you go across like a jagged bridge, you go up a spiral that's I love the spiral. I think that's one of the reasons I like this map. And then you go like Like, you can go different ways. Obviously, after the first lap, there's fire in the jump at the top of the spiral, which is something to keep our mind on. I think I always go left in the ways you can go, because I feel like it's nice around this. If you see that this keep tower thing, it's nicer around this if you go the longer way around. I find anyway. Could be wrong. I'm not a speedrunner. I mean, if you actually speedrun it, you'd go you'd cut across because you can do that. But I'm not confident enough to do that. So here we are. I love playing Bowser Jr. on this map, though. One of my favorite things is there's a Thwomp cage, and it's just there all lonely. I do find that quite interesting. But no, I just think it flows really nice. Definitely the spiral makes it one of my favorite maps. And if I ever challenge anyone to this game, I will always play this map. It'll be always in the 4 I choose. Pardon me. And another one that's always going to be in the 4 I choose. Coconut Mall is an absolute classic for a reason. Oh, the amount of shortcuts and different ways you can go, and just the variety of ways you can play this track is insane. I really, really, really love it. I think it's an amazing track, and it's definitely one of the better ones in this game. And I have nothing bad to say about it. I adore going through the different shopping areas, because for a long time I didn't know you could do that, and then I saw it and it just blew my mind. I was like, "What? You can do that? Wow, this is so cool!" And then I do it every time, but it's just wow. I love the escalators. Trying to go up the wrong one is pain, and just trying to avoid the cars and the parking lot is so fun. I think it's an amazing track, and it flows so well. I just have nothing bad to say about it, to be honest. And now we come to a solid C tier track, Daisy Circuit. It's just quite boring. It's very plain. There's one main shortcut that I can think of, which is kind of boring. The track itself, it flows decently well. It's not a terrible. It's not a bad track. It's just there's not a cool or unique gimmick going on, which Bowser's Castle had for the Wii. This is why it's below it, is because at least it had the fireball and it has the stairs and stuff. It's sure, they might not be the most interesting after a while, after you get used to them, but it's still there. Whereas Daisy Circuit is a very beginner friendly circuit, which you definitely need to have. So I'm not complaining at that. It's just it can get a bit boring, especially when you're decent at the game, because you'll always end up being too far ahead for the AI to really be able to do anything, which I find is kind of mundane and as such. Although this area of the track, I do love drifting around here, because obviously you get a nice big drift, so it's nice and fun. And yeah, I do like the track, and I would definitely say I'd play it any day, but it's Delfino Square. I have some memories of Delfino Square. Geez, it's quite an open track. You can go a lot of different ways. There's a lot of shortcuts and different routes you can take that I find really interesting. And overall, I think just the track itself is quite unique, because it feels quite what's the word I'm looking for? Quite sparse. It feels like you're driving along in a straight line quite often. You're looking at going up the hill. It's kind of it's just a straight line. You're not. It's kind of just going up the hill, really, isn't it? Now that I actually think about it, but doesn't mean that it doesn't feel like you're going up that hill forever. The cannon is it's not a cannon. It's a ramp. Feels like a cannon, but it's a ramp. It's cool. Going from the dock, or landing on the dock, I think it is. The shortcut is cool, and I think that's really cool that that's actually you're able to do that. And I don't think the map's terrible. I just think maybe if that hill was a little shorter, I might enjoy the map a bit more, because it feels like just going up that hill. It's kind of oh, who can wheelie better? Oh, Funky Kong can. Wow. Which one's this? Desert Hills or Dry Ruins? This is Desert Hills, which is the one I'm not a huge fan of. I just think it's kind of boring. It has those fire snakes that kind of hop along, doesn't it? That's what the gimmick is. And I don't really like them because they're so easy to avoid. It's kind of like, why are you even there at that point? I would rather just have a different gimmick. So as such, I think it's also thing is with all these maps as well. Okay, one thing I haven't mentioned really is the setting. All of them are really pretty or suit the mood. This one's quite dark. This one is lava. This one is dark. This one's the odd one out. This one's in a mall that, it's all happy. The music's really quick. It's fast paced. This one, you're going through a market. You're going through a town. It's just like, wow, this is cool. This one, you're like, oh, there's big statues of Mario and Luigi and Daisy. There's, a cool little like U-turn, almost a roundabout, but not quite. A tunnel. It's like, oh, there's all this cool stuff. And this one, you're just going through a desert. And that's kind of it. Obviously it has stuff on the side. It has like these pyramids. It has these sandstone walls, but it's kind of like that's it. And it's kind of like, I would prefer if there was a little bit more going on in the map, personally. And that's why it's lower than some others. No, DK Mountain. No, yes, not DK Summit. That's this one. DK Mountain is so fun. I love DK Mountain. Actually, no, this is going Esther. DK Mountain is an absolute beast of a track. It's so fun going up the mountain to then come down. Going across the bridge is it's intense because it feels like, oh my god, at any moment I could get booped off by random heavy person coming near me. The cannon is obviously interesting. I do enjoy the cannons when they're involved. So in all maps that have cannons, that's always a positive. Obviously, it takes control away, but it's still useful because it gets just blue shells, and that's about it. Anyway. I do like the fact that there's like boulders rolling down that you have to avoid. I like how the summit, when you reach it, and then when you're going down from the summit, it's kind of like more ragged and not as well like built up. Whereas like the road up is kind of like, oh, this is all well planned, and then it's like you get to the top and it's like, well, now I'm just rolling down the side of a mountain. What do I do? And I think that's really cool. I also love its face, so you know what, that gets brownie points. DK Jungle Parkway, yeah, no, actually, beta. It's the cannon, quote unquote. I'm pretty sure it's just a ramp, but it acts as a cannon. Is nice. I do like going over the sailboat. In this game, you see all Miis that you have saved on your Wii. But aside from that, I'm not a huge fan of this map. I'm not a huge fan of the map. Is incorrect. It's kind of just suffers from maybe the same thing as Bowser's Castle. The map or the track itself isn't bad. It's just that it lacks maybe replayability, because when you've kind of played it, you kind of know what's going on. Obviously, all of these have like really cool shortcuts you can do, but this is my personal opinion, so you've got to deal with that. Because this one is the one that you can go like down from the start and then come back up. It's like, yeah, you could do that, but that's not the most fun thing to do every time, is it? Whereas racing it is like, yeah, it's fun and intense. I do like the ending sequence of going up through the cave. That's kind of cool. And that's probably my favourite part, aside from maybe going over the boat, which is only one of the 3 laps. So it's a B, because it's a good map, but it's just maybe it suffers from less replayability than I would like. Now, DK Summit, Donkey Kong has some banging maps, I can't lie. DK Summit is amazing. I love this map, because it's like, okay, as a kid, I despise this map. Realistically, it probably should fall in the same category. It's going to fall... No, it's got to fall in the same category as this one, unfortunately. Because it's the same thing as this one. As a kid, I kind of hated it. But now I adore it, because there's so many different ways to go down the mountain. It's so fun going up the like snow half pipe stuff and going down and doing flips over like the canyons works. When they're just pits, there you go, the pits that just insta kill you. It's like, oh wow, I'm doing a flip over a pit that could kill me if I mess this up. And it's like, it's so fun. But as a kid, I hated those pits because obviously I'd struggle with getting by them. But now it's like, oh, this is so fun. I also would deal with I would struggle with like the snow, or the thick snow anyway, and always be slow. And it's like, oh, this map I hate it. Oh. But now I'm in love, and I'm definitely down to play this anytime with anyone. So it's an A tier only for the fact I hated it as a kid. Same as really this one. I have a spoiler alert, a lot of these maps are quite high, to be honest. Now, Dry Ruins. It's better than the other desert one, but still not a favorite. I just don't like desert levels, it seems. I definitely think it's more unique than the other one, and I definitely enjoy it more than the other one, but I don't have much to say about it. It's just it has those sinkholes that are quite cool, and like how close you can go to the center, etc. Each lap, and it's like judging the risk versus reward. But aside from that, it's kind of mundane. It has more of a gimmick than Daisy Circuit, but I still think it belongs in C, so I think I'll leave it in C. Oh, here's one that I absolutely despised as a kid. So if this was like when I was a kid, this would be F, but now it's like B, because I think the skill and the skill level that you can get from this level is insane. Because obviously maps like this that require you to drive around where it's got no edge obviously require more skill than a DK Summit, or not a DK Summit, a DK Coconut Mall. Let's go with that. It's kind of hard to kill yourself in Coconut Mall. Whereas on the Ghost Valley 2, it's kind of easy as anything to do. So that's greatly appreciated, and I think now that I've played this track mod, I definitely appreciate it a lot, and it's definitely a welcome addition, and I think it's very fun. It doesn't have like the most insane shortcuts. It has nice shortcuts, but it's like I think it's cool. I think it's definitely slept on by me for a long time, and I'm glad that I appreciate it now. So let's move on to Crumble Volcano, one that I definitely slept on as a kid, but now it's solid A. If I was doing this as a kid, probably a D, because the floor falls out. Simple as, and I struggle with that, and all the meteors and stuff that are coming out of the mountain. It's not meteor, but you know what I mean. All the rock and stuff that like it just lands and it ruins your day and you're struggling. Those I always really, really struggled with as a kid, but now it's like you memorize it. It becomes muscle memory. It's really cool. Has the coolest shortcut for the checkpoint shortcuts where it's like you go around a specific point so you get a checkpoint. It's like, how did you even come up with that? That's kind of really cool. But actually running just racing the race is so interesting. It's really fun, and every time you can get caught out so easily, and I think that's something that's greatly appreciated, is being able to always be on the edge of your seat even though you know what's coming, because it's like, oh, did I remember that right? Oh no, maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm in the wrong area. And I need to breathe, so let's breathe. And now Cooper Cape. Esther, always play Cooper Cape. Going the right way down the water streams. Fucking going just going into the pipe is honestly so fun. I think the pipe makes up for all of it. Coming up this section is kind of fun, and then doing a flip on this like ramp up here is fun, and then going again down the water streams through the turtle shell, all really fun. I think it's just a fun map that has a nice gimmick, and I think that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be like a an insane gimmick to make it fun, and I appreciate it. So I don't say much more. Luigi Circuit. Unfortunately, it's going to suffer from the same kind of thing as Daisy Circuit. Obviously, very beginner friendly. I'll say Cooper Cape is pretty beginner friendly as well. But Luigi Circuit, beginner friendly. It's probably the first track you're going to race on, as it should be, really. Like Daisy Circuit is kind of like a harder version of Luigi Circuit in a way. But Luigi Circuit itself, it's really simple, but it's greatly appreciated. It's fun to race on, even though it's easy, because you don't need a complex track. Same thing I said with Cooper Cape. Sometimes simple is best, and I think it works well for what it tries to do. It flows well, and I enjoy racing it, so I have no qualms with it. So I'm not going to sit here and shit talk it. Now, Maple Treeway. If we were doing me as a kid, S tier. Probably now B tier. It's gone down. I do like the shortcuts. I do like the cannon. I do like the jump rope. I do like not jump rope, but like the cargo net. I do enjoy the setting. It's cool, but I just feel like maybe it's doesn't flow as well as I thought it used to. Maybe it suffers a bit from the same kind of thing as DK Jungle Parkway. Like, B is still a good tier to be in, but it's just like, I feel like it lacks something, and I don't know what it is exactly. It just lacks something. And also those, I forget what they're called, but they're in Super Mario Sunshine, I know that for a fact, and they're so annoying up on the tree. Oh, they annoy me. Even still, they annoy me. Anyway. Right. Oh, Super Mario Circuit 3? Is this for the SNES? I don't remember where this one's from. I think it's from the SNES. Oh, I think it says it. Probably actually my least favorite track in the game. Honestly, I just don't enjoy it. I can't find it enjoyable. It's just, I don't know what it is as well. It's a really fast-paced circuit with like simple shortcuts. It's simple, but I just don't like it as much as other tracks. It's definitely one of my lower tracks in the game. I don't really know why though. Because in theory, it should be a really fun track for me. It should be something I enjoy, but I don't know. It's a strange one. For me, it's F tier, but I could see why anyone would disagree with me. I've also not come up with a really good explanation as to why. It's just kind of a gut feeling. Now, GameCube Mario Circuit is a lot better. It's a B tier. It flows real nice. I do like the piranha plants on the side. That's always fun. That is in this one, right? Better be in this one, otherwise I'm messing up. But it's still... Either way, all of these are kind of similar. I think I'd put this one in C tier. I'm going to put all the Mario Circuits in. This one's my favorite. So it's like, these three are all really fun, but they're all kind of mundane because they all look not the same, but they all have like a similar kind of, feeling to them because they're all Mario Circuits. They're all meant to be. I think Mario Raceway is my favorite because it's the most different. It has, you go through a pipe, a big pipe that you can ride on. You can avoid the pipe if you really want. And it's more interesting than the other ones, but I feel like it's a bit too straight. That's why I don't put it in S. I feel like you're driving in a straight line for too long at certain points in the track, so I just think that's why it's not S. For this one, it's quite twisty and turny. The piranha plants are annoying, but that's not why it's down here. It's just the piranha plants are annoying, but they easily get dodged after a while, so it kind of becomes mundane, same as Bowser's Castle. And this one, I hate the Chain Chomp. That's his name, Chain Chomp. I hate him. He's annoying. He's not even hard to dodge, but he's annoying. And then it's a simple track, but it's a simple track again. It's a bit harder than, again, the Luigi Circuit and Daisy Circuit, but it's still simple, and I just think it... Actually, honestly, I'm putting this one down in D, because I think it performs the worst out of the simpler tracks in the game. I say that, and the one in F is a simple track. It's not a simple track, but it's a simpler track. Moo Moo Meadows. First things first, fuck these cows. Fuck these cows. It has a really nice peaceful setting, but fuck the cows. That's all I need to say. Moonview, really annoying. After a while you kind of get used to everything, but I don't particularly like it. I just think it's a bit too annoying to deal with, the cars. Because sometimes you're having a really good race and it's just like you get fucked over by random bullshit. You're like, how do I even get... And you're just sitting there seething afterwards, even though you should have had a good race. So I think that's why, for me, C tier. Mushroom Gorge. Now this back in the day, F tier. Nowadays, D tier. I don't hate it, but I don't want to play it. I'd rather play something else. I think maybe it struggles from the fact that the mushrooms are just really annoying sometimes. They just feel really annoying. It has a really cool skip, give it that. I'll acknowledge that. But it's just, for me, personally, it just doesn't suit me. I don't like just sitting there in the air for half the map, which is what this is. It's just jumping up and down on mushrooms for half the game, and that's not what I signed up for in a racing game. Unique, not what I signed up for. Peach Beach, another simple track. I prefer it to the other ones though, because get this, you can go underwater and it's quite fun. So I think that puts it at B. You also have those things that follow you from Sunshine that kind of are annoying. Um, I also like how there's that like whole courtyard area that you can go through if you really want to. It's just like, why is it there? But it's there, and you can go through it if you want to. I've had some really intense races on Peach Beach because it, like, you're coming down to like the last lap. It's like this last corner, like back here, and you're going around. It's like, oh, it's a long straight. It's a really long straight. And it's like, oh, am I gonna beat him? Am I gonna beat him? Am I gonna catch Waluigi? Yay! Just on the line. It's like, it's quite satisfying. So I could appreciate Peach Beach. And now another Peach map, Peach Gardens. I quite enjoy it because you just have a lot of ways you can go. Like, it's a hedge maze. There's, obviously this chain chomp. Then there's like a bridge section that's kind of strange. It's not a bridge section, but it's a strange section. You've got the moles as well. It's like there's a lot of just unique things in this map. The moles aren't necessarily unique, but it's like the hedge maze. I think the hedge maze makes it A itself, and I think the rest of it is just solid. So A, I appreciate the hedge maze. It's not a hedge maze. It's not a hedge maze. I should point that out. It's just a garden, but I'm calling it a hedge maze so you know which bit I mean, because it's called Peach's Gardens. Well, of course, Rainbow Road S tier. Even as a kid, I did enjoy Rainbow Road. I struggled on it, but it's so cool. It's so cool, and now I can do it, without falling off like a piece of cake. So it's like, yeah, I really, really enjoy it, and as such, I'll always challenge someone to it. I love the star cannon stuff, like obviously because of Rosalina and stuff. It's just cool. I really like it. I think it's a really well designed Rainbow Road, and I love going through like the weavy section. Like, it flows really nice, and then you've got like the kind of like the floor from Bowser's Castle comes back, but I think it's much better implemented on this, so I like it. So S tier for me for this Rainbow Road. Pretty biased, but I love it. Sherbetland, fuck the penguins. It's cool. I don't hate it again, but I'd rather not play it. Very similar to Mushroom Gorge. It has some cool shortcuts, don't get me wrong. But I just would rather not race on ice. While the penguins are trying to slide in front of me because they piss me off. And as such, it's going to be a D tier. Shy Guy Beach, one of my favorites again. I don't know why I love it so much, but I think it's one of my favorite maps, and I don't know why. I like the parasols, how they open when you hit them. I like the shortcuts. I like just how the track flows again. It doesn't feel super uncompetitive in like AI, and I think it's just fun, pure fun. I think that's what it is, pure fun. Turd Factory, one that's definitely grown on me, but it's still quite low. It's still probably a D. I just find it quite boring. Obviously, you have different conveyor belts you can go. You have the presses. You have the boxes. It's just like, all of it, I don't really care for it. And as such, it's kind of just a D tier to me anyway. I just kind of get through it and don't really think about it for the rest of the time that I'm playing the game. Waluigi Stadium? It's Waluigi Stadium, right? Not Wario's. It's Waluigi, yes. B tier, grown on me a lot, but I think it's just ugly. Too brown. It's meant to be a dirt track, but it's just very brown. And as such, I'm not a huge fan of it. I do think it's quite fun though. So it gets like on fun factor it gets to B, but on aesthetics it's like F. So do with that what you want. Wario's Gold Mine. Wario's Gold Mine. Where the fuck do I put Wario's Gold Mine? Because on some days it's here, some days it's here. So I guess it goes like B. It's so hit or miss for me. Because if I'm having a good race on it, I'm enjoying it so much. But as soon as I fall off once, I'm falling off for the rest of the day. And it pisses me off to no end. The bats annoy me. The carts annoy me. The shortcut is so annoying and unreliable. It's not unreliable, but it's annoying because if there's a cart there, it's a pain in the ass to get in. And then the other shortcut is even worse. The one that you have to do like momentum and shit for. It's like, no thanks. Or no, it's not momentum. It's you have to land on like a specific part of a pipe, so that you activate a trigger that you spawn behind the fucking flag, and that you've done all that. It's like, what? No, no, thank you. Can be fun though. Can be very fun. Again, it's definitely improved. It definitely was an F when I first played the game. I think most of them that you could fall off were an F, to be honest, because I was very bad. But one that you could fall off that I still think is amazing, even back then, was Yoshi Falls. Just relaxing. That track is so relaxing. I remember that was the first track I ever beat my brother on, so it holds a special place in my heart. And as such, it's an indefinite F tier for me. I adore it. I played Yoshi on it and I loved it. It was so fun. For me personally, it's just a special track. So I've definitely got a big place in my heart for Yoshi Falls. Anyway, that has been it for me from me today. I hope you've enjoyed this tier list. If you have, then be sure to subscribe and like and all that good stuff. If you made it this far, thank you so much. And if you haven't, then, well, how are you here? How did you do it? Tell me. Time travel? Well done. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment below. Let me know how ridiculous my brain is, how scuffed it is, how I only have one track at F and I'm a complete sellout because most of my tracks are quite high. I like Mario Kart Wii, okay? Leave me alone. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.